hey, the Pacers snap a 2-game losing streak as they defeat the Dallas Mavericks in Dallas by a score of 137 to 120. Obviously, a much needed win for the Pacers on the season as they improved to 35 and 28 on the season. And so let's kind of dive right into this game, guys, because the Pacers, the last 2 games, they have not looked very good at all. I mean, you can point to the New Orleans game where Pacers just looked off all night, couldn't stop anybody, couldn't shoot the basketball effectively. It was just a poor night overall. And then, of course, you point to the game most recently against the San Antonio Spurs, where the Pacers really struggled in a lot of areas as well. Couldn't put away a bad team and ended up losing that one. And I think the main catalyst for all of it was you saw Tyrese Haliburton really struggling for the Indiana Pacers, right? And, I made a comment at the game recap of the last one. I said, man, Tyrese, something's not right with him as of recent. He's just been not very good, to be honest with you, for the Pacers. I mean, he just was not scoring effectively. His field goal percentage was down. It was just like, what is going on with Tyrese Haliburton? Is it a situation where maybe he needs to sit for a little bit, and rest up and get ready to go, even if that means the Pacers potentially miss out on the playoffs? Well, I guess the good thing was for the Pacers tonight was definitely Tyrese Haliburton had a nice bounce back performance. Probably one of his best performances we've seen out of him for a while. Overall on the night, 19 points for Haliburton, 11 assists. So a double-double for him. So great to see. 8 of 15 shooting. Still wasn't super great from the three-point line, but again, he had a couple clutch shots, especially the one near the end there to kind of seal that game. And so, while obviously Tyrese isn't back to his full form yet, definitely great to see him have kind of a bounce-back nice night after some really poor performances. And so hopefully he can build off of that, gain some confidence back, and move forward and be just fine. But definitely great to see there Tyrese Haliburton definitely having a nice bounce-back performance here against the Mavericks. Now, when you look at the Pacers overall in this game, I mean, Tyrese had a good game. Miles Turner led the Pacers actually in scoring. He had 24 and 2. He shot it pretty effectively, about 50% on the night. Andrew Nembhard, he only attempted 4 field goals, but he was perfect. 4 for 4, 2 of 2 from the three-point line. So that was definitely a good thing. Pascal Siakam, 13 points, 13 rebounds, shooting 5 of 11. But the big thing I think you saw from the Pacers here tonight that really was the difference was their bench. I mean, Benedict Mathurin, 19 points on 25 minutes. Ben Shepherd, 12 points. Jalen Smith, 11. TJ McConnell, 13. And Obi Toppin, 14. So every single bench player for the Pacers who played 17 or more minutes in this game had double digits in terms of scoring. And so definitely a great day overall from the bench. You've had some issues in certain points this year from the bench, although the bench I feel like has been playing a lot better as of recent. But definitely great to see the bench for the Indiana Pacers really come alive in this game. And then when you kind of dive into, the difference in this game, when you look at some of the box score, some of the team stats here, the Pacers shot 54% to the Mavericks 48%. Pacers obviously shot very well from the three-point line, 46% to Dallas's 33%. Pretty good on free throws, about even there for both teams. Pacers 79%, the Mavericks 81%. The Pacers and Mavericks virtually the same when it came to the turnovers. Pacers barely edged out the Mavericks in terms of rebounds in this game. Really overall, it was fairly even, but I really do think when you look at, the Mavericks compared to the Pacers, I mean, Luka Doncic, Kyrie Irving, PJ Washington, they all had 20 plus points. Obviously Doncic 39. So definitely a great game from him. But the only player off the bench that scored over 10 points was Gafford. Everybody else, I mean, the next leading scorer on the bench was Hardaway with only 6. So the Pacers bench definitely did really, really well and definitely outperformed the Mavericks in a lot of different ways in this game. And so when you look at it, guys, this was definitely a win the Pacers had to have. Definitely a game they had to have because they are right there competing for a playoff spot, and they needed a bounce back win, and they need Tyrese to, number one, if he's not healthy, get healthy, and number two, just get his confidence back and be able to shoot effectively. And it was great to see him get some of those 3-pointers to fall in this game overall. So definitely a great win for the Pacers overall when you think about it. And again, we're going to see, can they consistently do it, because they've shown a lot this year that they haven't really been able to. So it'll be interesting to see, will the Pacers be able to build off of this performance at all, or will they fall back into some of their own ways? Not entirely sure, but the Pacers coming up, their next couple games, they're going to be playing the Timberwolves on Thursday, and then they're going to have a couple days off, so maybe that'll be good to get some rest. And they'll play down in Orlando against the Magic. They'll play against the Thunder on next Tuesday, then the Bulls on Wednesday. So the Pacers have some games that are going to be a little bit tougher. And for whatever reason, the Pacers, typically have been able to actually, make some of these teams that are perennial playoff teams, teams that are probably going to compete for a championship, they actually are able to really play well against them. So it's weird that I have more confidence in the Pacers in some games that they probably should be more nervous about, but because they just are so inconsistent, but for whatever reason, they play to the level of their competition. So we'll see if the Pacers are able to take care of business again here in a couple days and moving forward. But let me know your guys' thoughts overall here on this Pacers win. Definitely great to see Tyrese back at least a little bit, and definitely better than he's been as of recent. But let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments. Curious to hear. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And as always, guys, go Pacers.